Hey everybody, it's Robert, and I've been having a little bit of discussion with Brooksy and Pestelman on beveling and different point types. But basically, for anyone who doesn't know, beveling is this. It's a way of resharpening a point. So I think what happens in confusing with beveling is there's right hand bevel and left hand bevel. Right hand bevel shows the beveling down the right hand side of it. Left hand shows it down the left hand side of it. Don't let that confuse you with what hand the person is. Please note, this is all opinions from our Benavides. But here's my theory on beveling. I made this point. I'm a right-handed guy. Now this point is left hand beveled. You can see the bevel that runs down there. This side is a little stronger. The bevel is on that side, which according to the book would make it left-hand beveled. But G.A. Robb is a right-handed man. So, how did I put a left-handed bevel on a right-handed as a right-handed man? It's simple. Here's what happens. As a flint napper, let me switch hands. As a flint napper, I hold the point like this. To resharpen or put a bevel on a point, you put your flaker on here and you push down, which flakes the point off the bottom of the point. So it takes the flake off the bottom. So when you turn it over, the flaking takes it off of the left hand side. Now the reason why it does that, the reason why my flaking as a right-handed man puts it on the left-hand side is because I'm flaking from the base to the tip. If you wanted to put a right-handed bevel on here, if I did the same thing and I started flaking it from here and pushing down, it would take the flake off the bottom, so when I flipped it over, it would be beveled down that side. So that's my theory on how a point gets left-handed beveled or right-handed beveled. It doesn't have to do with the person's hand, whether they're left-handed or right-handed. It has to do with, are they sharpening from the base to the tip, or are they sharpening from the tip to the base? Just a theory. Anyways, so with that being said, there's a couple of things in mind. Daltons typically are right-handed beveled. In most cases, 90% of them, from what I've read, a Dalton is right-hand beveled. So in my eyes, what that means is the Dalton people, they resharpen from the tip to the base. Then you had a few of those lefty Dalton people, when they were resharpening from the tip to the base, which would obviously make it a left-hand bevel. That's why you have a couple of Daltons out there that are left-handed, and then most of them are right-handed. Because in my theory, as a flint napper, and a very young one at that, it depends on the angle, or from the angle that you beveled, from the left to the right, or from the tip to the base, I should say. So this Yadkin that I have, or slash Dalton, it's beveled down the left-hand side. It's not beveled hard, but that's because the base was placed. I'm a right-hand guy. I'm going to take my pressure flaker. I'm going to push down. It's going to push the flake off the bottom, which creates the resharpening on this side. So the same thing. These are easier to see. The super hard beveled palmer that Terry found, left-hand beveled, which leads to another quick, not going to go into it. Palmers aren't that much younger than a Dalton. That's why I think the Dalton people beveled from the tip to the base. Same with this one, left-hand bevel. And for anyone wondering who may just not know, maybe new into all this, just like I was a year ago trying to understand beveling, and I still am trying to understand beveling. It's beveled on one side of each face because it keeps the point from being exhausted quicker. If I was to sharpen this side and then flip it over and sharpen it from the opposite side, or sharpen both sides of each face, the point is going to be exhausted twice as fast than if I just did one side at a time, which leaves the cool twist. So why bevel both sides when you can just bevel one and make it cool and twisted? So yeah. So for Pestle Man and for Quartz Crazy and anyone who finds Yadkins, my opinion is Yadkins were resharpened and beveled. I do think this is a Yadkin. I mean, I can say that I have been told that a lot of people think it's a Dalton, and if it is, that would be really cool too. But I've seen too many Yadkins that have a bevel that runs down that left-hand side. So, yeah, Quartz Crazy, take a look at all those Yadkins and see how many of them have a bevel. So, does that make them Daltons just because they were resharpened? I don't think so. I think that more points were resharpened. You know, why not resharpen a point? Why use it once and it get dull and toss it to the side? Especially quartz. God knows it took a master to make something along that lines. But anyway, so that's my theory on beveling. So if anybody's got any comments or want to throw stones back, start throwing them. Because that's my theory. I think it all has to do with from the back to the front, not, you know, from what point do you start on the blade, from the back of the blade to the front of the blade, or from the front to the back, not whether you're left-handed or right-handed. Just confusion, mass confusion in beveling. Gotta love it. Alright, as always, y'all, thanks for your comments.